Welcome to the DTF Printing Podcast. I'm Adrienne Palmer, editor-in-chief of DTF.com. I'm here with Denise Bayer, owner of DB Custom Creations in Tulsa, Oklahoma. Today we're chatting about her move from her living room to a warehouse, building a business during COVID, and the benefits of DTF printing.
Hi, Adrienne.
Hi, Denise. Why don't you tell us how you started DB Custom Creations?
Well, it's during COVID. I was a full-time realtor, and of course that all kind of got shut down for, a time period. My granddaughter's at home. I'm not one to sit still very long, and just happened on to a video of somebody, printing DTF. Well, actually, I bought a Cricut. I had it for about a month and resold it. But I saw somebody with a video with a DTF printer, a converted one. And I actually reached out to this person, but since they felt that I didn't have enough experience with inkjet printers, and they weren't going to sell me a printer. So I ordered a L1800 desktop printer off of Amazon when you could still buy them brand new off of Amazon, and converted it and joined some of the DTF groups, and it just started there, People started asking me if I sold transfers, which I'd had never even heard of, such a thing, and just started selling transfers. Stepped up, bought a few more P600, other different desktop printers, converted those, and that's where it started.
Did you have any kind of technical background for you to be converting these commercial printers, desktop printers to DTF? How did you get into that?
The first L1800, there was a video on how to convert it. The gentleman did not speak English, so I just hit pause and start and pause. They're fairly simple, to convert. They're not that difficult, but at the time, never working on a printer, I had no background, but so just kind of came natural. I don't know. Really don't know.
So when you bought the Cricut, what was your goal? Who were you going to be working for? Were you doing just things for your friends and family?
Oh, I could not even tell you. I just bought it to play, to have a hobby, to do, whatever. Made my granddaughters that were living with me at the time, made them a few shirts, and, made a couple cups and, stuff like that. Nothing, I had no plans of starting a business, that's for sure.
I'm kind of hearing this from a few different people who have added DTF recently. It seems like COVID is the common denominator. What's it like to start a business during a global pandemic?
So it kind of started, I did do masks for some local companies, like my real estate broker. We did 700 masks for them. A couple car dealerships around town we did. I really have no words. I really don't. I feel very blessed that our business is where it is today. In order to run a successful DTF business, you have to know how to work on your own printers. You have to have that technical ability to be able to troubleshoot it and figure it out. You really do, or you're waiting for somebody else to come and fix it, and then you're down. So
right. So you moved from your living room to your garage, and now you're leasing warehouse space. Can you talk a little bit about that, the expansion? And I'm assuming that is over the last 2-3 years. What does that look like for you and the growth?
Yeah, this month is our third year. I started we have a formal dining and living room. So we started in that formal living room, it grew into the dining room, to the kitchen. Finally talked my husband into, moving his Trans Am out of the garage. So he stored it somewhere else, and we added mini split, new flooring, and we weren't in there a super long time. We had, I don't know, 3 or 4 printers out there, desk and, stuff like that. And then we got a commercial printer, our first Oddly, and then we added a second one. And it wasn't long. I would say probably 4 or 5 months, and we had outgrown that space. And we got a 2,300 square foot space. And then probably within 6 months, the people next door moved out. So we added that space, and there's a door in between. So we have, probably about 4,600 square foot. And we're outgrown it as well. We've added other things besides DTF now to offer our customers, but we do the UV DTF now. Um, we do decals and laser patches, stuff like that. So it's been, again, people ask me how, and I'm like, I don't know. I mean, I feel very blessed. So we try to keep our customer service at top notch. I think that's word of mouth has really been a big player for us.
Well, congratulations. That's really exciting to
Thanks.
make that move, especially starting during COVID. How many machines do you have currently, and how many employees are there in the warehouse?
We have 5 24-inch forehead commercial printers currently. I have one. I'm negotiating at the moment to add another one, and we have a UV DTF printer. We have the 5, the UV. We have a Mamaki. That is a decal printer. We have a Gerber FX that does football helmets and other stuff. A laser. I'm probably missing something, but we have 11 employees. There's 11 of us total employees. So yeah, it's been good. And a popcorn machine.
Oh, I'll be there right away. I love the popcorn machine.
Yeah, we try to make. I know, it's the best. I love it.
That's awesome. So with this expansion, this move, you were saying that you started bringing in other things to do other things for your current customers. Was that simply because they were asking for it and you didn't want them to go elsewhere? Or had you kind of researched the market and thought, I'm going to push this to my customers, I think they'll like it?
Both. Our first equipment that we got that was not a DTF printer was our Mamaki roll-to-roll decal banner printer. I was at a convention and I got starstruck by it, and it's been a good addition. I mean, we sell quite a bit of it, decals to our customers, and we don't advertise a lot of that stuff. We keep it kind of like in shop, and we have a lot of pickups and people coming through, and then it becomes word of mouth. I mean, we do have the decals now on our website, so after a while we kind of test the waters locally first, because we have so many customers coming in, and just when they ask us, do you know anybody, or if I can't outsource it, then I'm like, okay, well, let's bring it in house then. So,
right.
Yeah, it's been kind of fun. Yeah.
So let's talk a little bit about the website.
And a lot of that stuff.
Go ahead.
No, I'm sorry. I said a lot of that stuff we don't advertise or put on our website until we tested, here locally from some of our customers. So they're pretty cool.
So you have your local customers. How are you reaching customers outside of Tulsa?
Again, it is a lot of word of mouth. The Facebook groups, some of the Facebook groups, I have some Google ads that I pay for. Every so often I'll run a Facebook, some of the Facebook ads, but we just kind of, Google is our only really main way that we have advertised, is just our Google ads.
Are you finding a lot of your customers are thrilled with the turnover rate with DTF in terms of not having to maybe wait so long for shipping and some of the processes outside of the DTF world, say screen printing, for example? What's been the response?
That is one of our main focus is to provide, top-notch transfers, but our second is to, put our customers' hands back into their hands where they're not waiting, a week even to get their transfers. So, we, again, like I had mentioned earlier to you, that 90% of the time it's in by noon, out same day. These last 2 months have been pretty busy for us, so we had to go back to our 1 to 3 business days. But even in that, it's a 24-hour turnaround time. We're getting them out at the latest the next day, a lot of times same day. That just depends on, our orders for the day.
Yeah, so when we talked online a little bit about your August, September being your busiest, is that because school's starting back up? Are those your top customers in this space, or what's the timeline there?
It's schools, it's sports, it's Halloween. I mean, we've been printing Halloween stuff already. We're printing Christmas stuff, fall. It's just, those are the holidays, especially Christmas, football, that it's not a one day, one shirt, holiday. Christmas, people wear multiple different shirts throughout the whole season. Fall's the same way. Football's the same thing, or baseball or any other of the sports that cheerleading, a lot of cheer moms that want to support their cheerleaders. So
Yeah, absolutely. No, it's, I think, a busy time for everyone for all of those reasons. And I guess maybe we jumped the gun a little bit. Can you share with our listeners really how DV Custom Creations works, how your website functions, pretty much just the basics of if someone was looking for X, do they come to you for this?
yeah, everything is placed on our website. We have a game sheet builder that they can gang all their artwork on. That's our really the only method is we have a video on how to use it. It's very simple. It grows as you add design, so you don't have to go in and pick, hey, I need a 22 by 80 or a 22 by 60 or whatever size. It just grows as you add designs. Once we get it, we process it, get it printed, goes through our quality control, shipping, and gets shipped out. So we ship strictly with UPS because they are the most reliable for us anyway in Tulsa.
Are you doing any of the heat transferring yourself, or are you just simply shipping out transfers and that's what the day looks like?
We do offer a couple of different ways. We don't advertise completed shirts. It's only if somebody comes to us and say, hey, can you make shirts? It's a lot of people that we know or, other companies that we already print for sometimes. We will press it. We don't want to be competitive with our customers that are making shirts. So again, we only do it if they come to us and ask. We also offer a pressing service. We charge $250 per press. We press hats for a screen print company that's not too far. We just different companies that are like, hey, my heat press is down, or, we have customers come in and use our heat press sometimes because theirs is not working good or whatever, but we will do completed apparel or garments or whatever. Yes.
Yeah. You're so unique because you're not coming from the print space. So you really may not have any thoughts on manuals or auto screen printing or DTG. But now that you're in this
Right.
apparel world, and you mentioned that you had gone to a trade show, what are your thoughts on the apparel decoration industry?
I think that, screen printing's not going anywhere. DTG, I don't know enough about it. I think it's too, just from other DTG people talking to me about it, it takes too long, to do a completed shirt or do a completed garment. I think DTF, like we print for a lot of screen print companies. And yes, there's a lot of screen print companies that went total DTF, but there's still a lot of screen print companies out there that utilizes our services for those smaller orders or full color orders, so I think it's a DTF has definitely broadened the options for different other companies per se. So yeah, I don't think it's going anywhere.
And when we spoke earlier, you had mentioned your anticipation of the technology getting better as more larger players enter the business of building printers. Maybe we can talk a little bit more about, I guess the current state of DTF and how you foresee DTF evolving in the future.
One major player is already stepping up, and that's Mamaki. And I think there are others as well. I love Mamaki. I told Andy over at DTF Superstore, if they came out with the forehead, I'd be all over it. Because like I said, the technology, I can look at my very first commercial printer compared to even the ones that I have today, and they've just gotten better. So I think as time goes, more people are going to have more input about them, and they're just going to make them better, more reliable, less headaches, breaking down, stuff like that. We go weeks, sometimes months without having to mess with the printer. But then when you do, it's, luckily we have 5, so we're never down, but I think as the technology evolves, it's going to be easier and easier. And again, with my Mamaki already stepping up, it's going to get better for sure.
Yeah, I've heard that from a lot of people, especially those who already have connections with some of these vendors, Mamaki being one of them. They know that the customer service is right. They have a direct vendor that they work with. And so they're already really connected in that space. And so you're getting a little bit more reliability in terms of, okay, I know how this is going to go. And I know if there is an issue that I'm going to be able to talk to someone today, tomorrow. And with more of those bigger players offering this type of equipment, do you have any concern, or do you think more of your customers are going to be bringing equipment in-house, or do you think they're going to still be outsourcing these transfers?
I'm really not concerned about it. I've had customers that have gotten, printers, and I knew it all along. I've helped them set their printers up. I've helped them, or not maybe set them up, but, talked with Drew, guided them, explained things to them. I'm my own competition. I don't want to, my customers are not my competition, or nobody else in the DTF printing business or community is my competition. I'm my competition. If I lose my customers, it's because something I did, or great, their business grew enough that they needed a printer. And I'm all for that. We print for companies that probably should have a printer, but they have no desire to bring one in-house at the time. So again, I'm not worrying about that kind of stuff.
Yeah, no, you've got enough going on in your own business.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
Do you have any advice to print shop owners, or maybe even people like yourself who's not even part of the industry, who are kind of considering entering this space? Maybe you can talk about the specific lessons you've learned along the way that could be valuable to newcomers to DTF.
Test your supplies. Make sure you have great ink, great supplies. That is key. Don't buy supplies off Amazon. I love Amazon and I order stuff all the time, but I don't order my supplies from Amazon. You really, even if you have a great company that you purchased from, even Mamaki, any of those businesses, you really need to have some type of technical ability to troubleshoot, because you don't want to be down for 3 or 4 days waiting for a part or waiting. We keep parts in house. I keep print heads in house. I keep pumps. I keep all that stuff. So just keep a healthy supply. I don't know. Did I answer that?
Yeah, of course. No, I think testing is so huge, troubleshooting, being able to figure that out for yourself, and also having that technical skill that if something goes down, you can't wait. That's just not feasible for a business your size, or really any business when you have customers relying on you and employees. I'm also curious about the research aspect of it. You probably didn't have anyone in the industry to go to right away. You were starting out fresh. What did the research look like for you in terms of, I want to go purchase from this manufacturer? Were you going to trade shows?
No. By the time I was ready for a commercial setup, I had a good relationship with Andy. I actually was doing their tech support at the time. And so there was no question. I was going to order from DTF Superstore. All my printers are from DTF Superstore. And they've been great. No, in the beginning, there was no research, with all the commercial printers and everybody leery of buying anything from China or overseas, I should say. You just kind of stepped out on a limb and, took your chances. And my opinion and my philosophy, especially like even on working on a printer, it's not working right now. I can't make it any worse. So I'll take it apart. I'm not afraid to, I'll try to figure it out. But yeah, there was no real research back then, other than the little non-speaking English guy that that he did the converting of the L1800. There was nothing really out there.
Yeah, YouTube can sometimes be your best friend when you're starting out. And so you can learn so many different things just from videos from other people who have also are testing and figuring it out. But I think finding someone that there's reliability in terms of a vendor is very key. And if you found someone that you feel comfortable with and there's a good connection there, then it makes sense to sometimes just stay and have that reliability.
Yeah, and even with the companies that are selling the printer, selling the supplies, things have changed a lot. I mean, I've only ever bought from DTF Superstore. I've only ever supported them, but I see how they have changed dramatically, and I'm sure other companies have too. And there's a ton of more players now than there ever was, But I've seen how they've taken it on, and really stepped up their game as far as videos and information. There was just not a lot of information about DTF, around. So in the beginning at all, really.
Yeah, and that's, I mean, for you joining the podcast and, launching DTF.com, that's our biggest goal, is to be a complete education resource for the industry, because hearing that from a lot of people not really understanding just DTF basics, or how to do this, or, what products are available and different news within the industry, and also promoting, specific DTF events where you can really dig in. And I've always found that networking with other shop owners, learning what they're doing in their business is just so paramount. So that's our goal with DTF.com is to just be that hub for people to, I don't know how to do this, or I'm just starting out, or I've been doing this for a couple of years now and I'm still struggling. I think that having that is really important.
Yeah, because a lot of people, they go to the groups and ask questions and they'll get 42 different answers, and people that are brand new, that have just read it or heard about it, and so, yes, it's going to be nice to have a place that people can go to that, can get their questions answered, the right way.
Yeah, the Facebook groups are always they're so overwhelming in good and bad ways, I think. If you can really find someone who is a specialist and an expert, but you also have people who think they are experts, maybe answering questions, and it can get interesting, but I think they're a great platform for communication and networking trying to figure it out. And especially, if you're getting business from them, I mean, that's awesome.
For sure. Yeah.
So we talked a little bit about customer service with vendors, things like that, but how does your customer service look like with pretty much what it seems an all online platform? You go on the site, upload your images, they're shipped out to you. Do you have a chat bot, or do you have a phone in line? How does that look?
We have a phone, and we would prefer people to, they can email us. We've never had anybody use the chat bot. We do have one, but most of the time, it's phone calls. They just give us a call. Our phone number's on there, and they can call, and we'll, answer any of their questions. That's, it's very important to us, as far as customer service, that, we stay on top of that always. We respond. And so, that's very important to all of us, my whole team, it is very important to us. So we have customers that will come in, bring their laptops, and we'll sit down with them and, show them. My son is really proficient in Illustrator, Photoshop, all those design softwares. And he'll sit down with them and show them, whether it's ganging or how to color, change their colors, or do halftone, or, just, anything. So anything that's within his scope of knowledge on this software. So we really try to help our customers. So
is this now a family business? You mentioned your son. Have you added your husband, your son?
No, not my husband. My daughter is in shipping. She runs shipping. My son is operations manager, I guess you want to say, but he's kind of converted. We have somebody now in the DTF side of our business that is a supervisor. So she handles processing orders and, gives them out to all the different print operators that we have. And then my son pretty much does a lot of the graphics and graphic design stuff, helping customers with stuff like that. Yeah. And my daughter does shipping. And actually my sister's coming to work for me Monday for bookkeeping, and because I never sit in my office. So you can't hardly tell because you can't see the front of my desk, but it's pretty piled up. So it's a small business. One of the things that I have tried to do this year, well, actually last year too, is a lot of people, know it as Denise Bayer. I'm trying to take that away because I couldn't do it without my team, and I have a great team. Yeah, we kind of went through a few that, wasn't a good fit for us, but we have a great team right now. And, I just work here. It's like, I just work here. They tell me what to do. So it's been great. Really has.
That's good. Any tips for others listening, running a family business, working in a family business?
Keep your offices pretty separated. My son's office is across the shop, No, it's been really good. We have all grown a lot. Yeah. In the beginning, my son was kind of with me. I mean, he helped press those 700 face masks for me. It was a little rocky. There's been some rocky times. I'm not going to lie. He thinks he knows more than me, but, I felt really good the day he said, my mom really has some good ideas. So I'm like, yeah, I think I do. When we got the Mamaki roll-to-roll printer, he wasn't real happy about it. But when they came and trained him on it, then he was like, oh, okay, I love this printer. So he runs that printer too. So he does the graphics and, stuff like that. So it's been good. It's been pretty good. So we don't bring it home. We keep it at the shop.
Key, and also probably pretty difficult to not talk shop. How do you separate that boundary?
I really don't know. We just kind of leave it. My son and I probably talk a little more shop outside of shop than my daughter does. She has 2 daughters, so they keep her pretty busy. And we have a room for them too. So they're here after school. They're here a lot during the summer. They have their own little TV room with, stuff in it. So it's pretty good. And my receptionist sometimes brings her granddaughters, and, we have a print operator that brings her son sometimes. So, we just kind of keep it, happy little family business, even if they're not technically our family. So it's been fun.
Well, I think the biggest takeaway I took from that was that mom knows best and always listen to mom.
Yes. You're right. Yes. He will buck at some of my ideas or things that I bring in, but in the end, he's like, okay, I get it. You have good ideas. I'm like, yeah, I do.
Yeah. And so with the roll-to-roll, you said you were doing decals, banners, anything else with that piece of equipment?
We have not. We did some blueprints for a company. Again, we don't advertise a whole lot with that. We probably could do more, but what we do is it's enough. Like I said, it's offerings that we're offering to our current customers, and, some that, are not. I mean, some of our customers locally do that as well. They make banners and they, do those type of things. So it's normally most of the business we get from that is our current customers, our current customer base. We have signs in the shop, when you walk in.
Is there anything else on your radar or anything else your customers have been asking about? Promo products or yard signs, anything that you might consider adopting in the next year or two?
I would love to have a flatbed, one of the large Bamaki flatbed printers. I don't foresee it next year because they're pretty pricey, but maybe in the next couple of years I could see adding that. Currently, no, we're at such a busy season. It's hard to think about what else we could add. We're adding some Chanel patches that we ordered from a vendor, and our local customers are, dying over them, but it's not something that we're making. We're just ordering them. So it's been good. Our football helmet decals, we do those for a lot of our local schools. We haven't kind of got outside of that yet, which we do plan on marketing those next year more to other schools and other, hopefully colleges.
Yeah, no, that sounds great. Well, kind of as we wrap, are there any other tips or tricks for those listening, whether they're starting from scratch or they're considering the move to DTF, anything that you want to say about the benefits that your business is getting from this big move?
Well, I mean, other than testing, patience, just be patient. I can't think of anything else because it can be very stressful. In the beginning, especially, it doesn't really, I don't get that stressed out feeling anymore like I did in the beginning. I think in the beginning, if any of my colleagues that started, all of us kind of started in the, at the same time. And, we would all tease that, you know, we've all started drinking, or we've all, it was very stressful. It was very stressful, but I feel like that we all kind of, not saying team together, but we helped one another, figure out the obstacles of your environment, how your environment plays such a huge role. Again, good products, cheap is not always the best, I mean, you want to provide a quality product to your customers, but it also will help you, not get so stressed out, because that the products you have are going to run your machine properly too. You won't have head clogs or, stuff like that. So yeah, I mean, there's a lot, I'm sure, others have said. There's a lot of different details in, printing DTF.
Yeah. Any major challenges that you've experienced that you might want to share?
The only things that I can think of is, we got some film one time that by the time it shipped out, it fell off. It's been mostly supplies. And when we first moved into our building, it was cold. And so environment is the biggest challenge today. I'm in Oklahoma. We have extreme weather from one extreme to the next. Wintertime, we have to pipe up the humidifiers. Wintertime, we have to turn on the dehumidifiers. So that first weather change is always a struggle for us for a couple of days. But, other than that, once we get it under control, we're, good to go.
Yeah, I definitely agree. Environment is something that you have to consider. And I don't think necessarily people just starting out, maybe even, working on just desktop printers at home, that doesn't really affect much. But when you're printing at that capacity, there are challenges and things that you need to consider before just pressing go and thinking that your quality output is going to be the same. Yeah.
I think probably that has been, and now, after 3 years, we've kind of know what to do. It was, even though we knew what to do when we moved in here, we were in a much bigger space. So getting the equipment in here to, regulate our environment, took a little bit of time. So, but we got it good now.
Good. Well, test, have patience, and consider your environment. Those are pretty good takeaways. Denise, where can our listeners find you? Your website, Facebook, Instagram?
DTFcustomtransfers.com is our website. I do have a Facebook group. I have somebody that runs that for me. I don't get on there a lot. I just don't have time. I'm running my business. So we definitely would prefer people just to go to our website at DTFcustomtransfers.com. Call us. Our number is 918-863-4161. You can even ask to talk to me. Anybody in our shop can answer a lot of your questions if anybody wants to call. But those are our main ways that we prefer. Anybody contacting us.
Now, DTF Custom Transfers is a new website for you. You had a previous URL because it's redirecting you. What was kind of the process of changing that URL?
Well, whenever I first started, DTFcustomtransfers.com, I purchased that. I knew I would want it, but I knew nothing about transfers or selling transfers. And a local lady, she was a website designer. We kind of started with that. And as we grew, I knew I wanted something a little more, I needed a better website. And so last April, I think it was April, we switched over and we had a website built, Website Forge. I don't know if I can say that, but they built our, custom to us and what we wanted and what we needed. And it works great. I mean, there's a back end. I can see everything, what's going on our orders, where they are, if they're in processing, if, they're in printing, if there's artwork issues. So, just like DTF is evolving, our business evolves too, as we, figure out better ways and easier ways on making it simpler for not only our customers, but for us, because if it's easier for us and we can get the orders processed and printed and shipped out in a, more timely manner.
Sure.
So, and yes, I've been wanting to, we are DBCC or DB Custom Creations, and I've wanted to change that name. I've met with the branding person, but I'm not sure what we're going to do yet. Our customers know us by DBCC, and so far it's worked. And, we may just, instead of being DB Custom Creations, maybe DBCC. I don't know. It's, that's kind of a hard thing to do, is change your branding, rebranding.
Absolutely. Yeah, I was just speaking with a print shop recently, and they went through a major rebrand. I mean, completely new. And it's so good now. It was great before, but it really matches who they are and who they want their customers to be. But one of the owners was very timid because they had created that name, and the other co-owner was like, no, this will be better for, So it's kind of like giving away that bit of yourself that you've created, and this is what the brand looked like for so long, especially, yours has your name in it. So it's
right.
that ownership there.
And and I'm really okay with going away with it. It's just, again, I started doing this during our busiest season, and now I'm like, I can't meet you today. I don't have time to get out of the shop. So hopefully maybe after the first of the year, we'll take a new look at it. But so far it's worked. I mean, it hasn't deterred anybody from ordering, transfers from us. So it's okay. It'll be all right.
Cool. Well, we'll be looking for that in the new year. Hopefully you'll have some time and you'll be happy with what you come up with. But for the meantime, we'll check you out at DTF Custom Transfers. But yeah, thanks for joining us, Denise.
Yeah, sure. Absolutely.
We'll catch you on the next episode of the DTF Printing Podcast. Thanks for listening.
Thank you.